Hi guys, this is Dhananjay here and welcome to this webinar. So guys, what is this webinar all about? This webinar is something to do जो अपना पर्सपेक्टिव है वो बदलने के लिए ये वेबिनार रखा हुआ है. Moksha is a company which is into counseling thousands of students, whether they are in commerce or arts or finance or business or medicine or engineering, whatever they may be. अगर 12th स्टैंडर्ड का बच्चा 12th दे के बाहर निकल रहा है तो सबसे पहला सवाल यही आता है मन में, व्हाट नेक्स्ट एंड व्हाट नेक्स्ट टू नेक्स्ट में, व्हाट इज माय डेस्टिनी, व्हाट एम आई गोइंग टू बिकम, व्हाट एम आई गोइंग टू डू इन लाइफ, हाउ वेल can I progress in my life, and what exactly is my passion. So many questions will come into your mind because you have to take a decision. These are all junctions which which are important in life. Parents feel that today is like today's time, you should do this, you do that. Students feel this doesn't suit me, this I don't want. नॉर्मल जो स्टैंडर्ड मेथोडोलॉजी करियर को देखने की है वो अभी फेल जा रही है क्योंकि टाइम बदल चुका है. थिंग्स आर चेंजिंग कॉन्स्टेंटली. Correct? What Mox does is to ensure that you are in line with the current requirement and we create something unique in your life. ठीक है ना? बेसिकली मोक्ष के अंदर 3 डिवीजन है. ठीक है. One is a division which is focusing only on placing students abroad, which is not what we are going to talk about today. Thousands of students are placed abroad by Moksha for various programs in various countries. Okay, Moksha has offices across the country in more than 35 cities, and it is working. Within 8 years itself, it has grown to a level where it has got market leadership, like connecting with the students of thousands of students. Second is Moksha Academy. Now what does they do is, academy people, they will give you online coaching to upgrade your skills, your employability skills, your understanding of the career planning, ट्रैकिंग एंड एग्जीक्यूशन. नाउ ये शब्द जो है वो आपको करियर के साथ में जुड़े हुए कहां पे भी नहीं मिलेंगे. यू विल से सर ये करियर प्लानिंग ये क्या होता है? मैंने घर का प्लान सुना हुआ है, वो ब्लूप्रिंट लेके आर्किटेक्ट आता है. मैंने फैक्ट्री का प्लान सुना है जो फैक्ट्री डालने के पहले लोग करते हैं, बट करियर का प्लानिंग ये इंडिया में कैसे करते हैं? जो बीकॉम में गया वो आगे जाके सीए की सोचेगा या सीएस की सोचेगा, स्टैंडर्ड है. जो साइंस में गया वो मेडिसिन सोचेगा या इंजीनियरिंग सोचेगा, स्टैंडर्ड है. सर सब रूल सेट है अपने लाइफ में. आप कहां से प्लानिंग करने की बात कर रहे हो? प्लानिंग करेंगे तो कॉम्प्लिकेशन हो जाएगा. ये लोगों को इसलिए दूर भागते हैं. बट अगर हम छोटे से छोटे चीज का अगर प्लान करते हैं तो इतनी बड़ी इंपॉर्टेंट चीज है लाइफ में, जो करियर बनाना है उसका प्लान करना और इम्पोर्टेंट. प्लान तो कर लिया, उसको ट्रैकिंग करना बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है. क्या हमने जो प्लान किया था वो सही तरीके से जा रहा है, उसी के हिसाब से हम वही रास्ते पे आगे बढ़ रहे हैं, और एक्चुअली उसको एग्जीक्यूट करने के लिए क्या हमारे पास राइट टूल्स हैं. सो बहुत सारी चीजें होती है एक करियर बनाने में. अगर हम, क्या होता है कि जब आप लोग छोटे थे तो पेरेंट्स लोग ज्यादा इन्वॉल्व होते थे आपके ग्रोथ में. बड़े होते हो तो आपको हेल्प ज्यादा चाहिए थी. अब आप 18 ईयर के हो गए हो, एडल्ट हो गए हो, इंडिपेंडेंट हो गए हो. अब आपको खुद सोचना है, खुद के हिसाब से जाना है. पर आपको कई चीजें ऐसी हैं जो पता नहीं है, बट करना वही है. टुडेज यूथ, दे ऑल वांट टू एक्सपीरियंस इट देमसेल्व्स. दे डोंट माइंड फॉलिंग डाउन, they don't mind learning from there is no regret on the mistakes. Am I right? So आपके स्क्रीन के ऊपर जो क्वेश्चन मार्क है, आप अपने जवाब या आपके सवाल कुछ भी हो मन में कम्युनिकेट करना हो तो मेरे साथ कर सकते हो, कोई दिक्कत नहीं है. ठीक है. आपको अगर मुझे बोलना हो, मेरे से बात करनी हो, तो आप हैंड रेज कर सकते हो, हरिओम को रिक्वेस्ट कर सकते हो, वो आपका माइक खोल के देगा, हम बात भी करेंगे बट लिमिटेड वे में, क्योंकि यहाँ पे hundreds of students are there on the session and you can't expect everybody to speak at this moment, right? Otherwise हम लोग आधे घंटे में कुछ नहीं होगा. मेरे पास टाइम की कमी है. हमारे पास सिर्फ और सिर्फ 30 मिनट्स है, और 30 मिनट्स के बाद में मैं यहाँ से निकल जाऊंगा. पर और कोई आएगा जो इंडस्ट्री से आएगा. ओके, a guest will come from the industry and she's going to tell you exactly what you have to do in your career, how she grew in her career इंडस्ट्री में यंगस्टर्स कैसे इतने फास्ट ग्रो हो जाते हैं करियर में, ऐसा क्या किया यूनिक, कुछ उसने रेज्यूमे में, अपने बायोडेटा में, अपने सीवी में ऐसा कुछ तो डाला होगा जिसकी वजह से वो इतना फास्ट ग्रो कर गए। हम ऐसे एक एक बंदों को इंडस्ट्री में से चुनते हैं, उनको हम बुलाते हैं, and they actually come and give a talk show with all of you. You can ask them questions and we have a moderator, Mr. Chirag will moderate. So these careers are already successfully executed by somebody. What we are going to do is we are going to present it to you. आप भी अपने आप को सोचो किस हिसाब से आप भी अपने कौन से करियर में आगे बढ़ना चाहते हो। सो पहले मैं आऊंगा, मैं आपको कंसेप्ट समझाऊंगा 8 से 8:30 के बीच में। सो वी आर लेफ्ट विथ 25 मिनट्स, और 8:30 से 9 बजे तक गेस्ट आएंगे। आई एम नॉट गोइंग टू डिस्क्लोज अ नेम एट द मोमेंट। या यू विल बी ज़ैप्ड दैट इतना फास्ट, इतनी यंग एज में इतने पोजीशन पे पहुंचना बीकॉम या कोई भी बंदा कर सकता है, बट सही प्लानिंग और सही ट्रैकिंग और सही एग्जीक्यूशन की मदद से आप कहां भी पहुंच सकते हो अपनी लाइफ में। जनरल टेंडेंसी क्या होती है, साइंस वाला सीरियस होता है, कॉमर्स वाला सर आराम करता है थोड़ा, आर्ट्स वाला कुछ नहीं करता। करेक्ट है, ये अपने दिमाग में है। रियलिटी कुछ अलग है। नॉर्मल और यूनिक में बहुत फर्क है। अगर आप नॉर्मल 98% आदमी हो जो नॉर्मल करियर ऑप्शंस देखता है, नॉर्मल तरीके से घूमता है, नॉर्मल डायरेक्शन में आगे जाता है, और अगर यूनिक हो, थोड़ा सा हटके है, डायरेक्शन अलग है, कैपेबिलिटीज अलग है, अपने में स्किल सेट डेवलप अलग तरीके से किया, जो मुझे अच्छा लग रहा है उसी में मैं आगे बढ़ूं, ये एक आइडियल सिचुएशन में खड़ी कर रहा हूं आपको। हम बाकी के 2% में अगर अपने आप को डाल दिए तो you will be placed in a very different way in the industry when you come out, when you graduate। चाहे आप बीकॉम हो, बीबीए हो, बीएमएस हो, बीएएफ हो, कोई भी बैचलर प्रोग्राम के अंदर किया है, ग्रेजुएशन कर लिया, उसके पहले आप में ऐसा कोई ना कोई स्किल डेवलप होना चाहिए कि जो आपको यूनिक बना दे, आपकी वैल्यू ऐड कर दे, आपके पैशन के हिसाब से आपको इंडस्ट्री में रिकॉग्निशन दिला दे, जॉब दिला दे, एम्प्लॉयबिलिटी फैक्टर आपका बढ़ा दे, और वो वाला पैशन जिसमें काम करने की मजा आए। हो सकता है आपको अकाउंट्स अच्छा हो, और आपके फ्रेंड को फाइनेंस अच्छा हो, और तीसरे को रिस्क अच्छा हो, और चौथे को एनालिटिक्स अच्छा लगे, और पांचवे को इक्विटी अच्छा लगे, और डिफरेंट डिफरेंट वेराइटीज ऑफ जॉब ऑप्शंस आर अवेलेबल। आपको क्या अच्छा लगेगा वो हम आपको हेल्प करेंगे तय करने में, आइडेंटिफाई करने में, करियर डिस्कवरी करने में, और धीरे धीरे उसके हिसाब से प्लानिंग बनाने में। तो क्या आप एक नॉर्मल लाइफ जीना चाहते हो या अपनी करियर कुछ यूनिक वे में बनाना चाहते हो? दैट इज द फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन दैट आई हैव इन माय माइंड फॉर ऑल ऑफ यू। और ये करने के लिए क्या आपको आपका पैशन पता है, या आपको हेल्प चाहिए ऐसी करियर डिजाइन करने में, या आपको लगता है कि मुझे सब कुछ पता है, मैं किस में अच्छा हूं, कैसे करियर बनती है, डोंट नीड योर हेल्प एट ऑल, आई लिव माय लाइफ द वे आई वांट। और आप ऐसा भी हो सकता है कई लोगों को समझ में नहीं आता वो ये क्या चल रहा है सर। मोस्ट ऑफ द टाइम वी डोंट नो व्हाट वी एक्चुअली नीड। जब कोई पिन पॉइंट करता है तब मन में सवाल आना चालू होता है, तब हम क्यूरियस होते हैं, तब हम सीरियस होते हैं, तब हम सोचना चालू करते हैं, और ये स्टैंडर्ड है किसी भी ह्यूमंस के साथ। दिस विल हेल्प यू टू रियलाइज योर ओन नीड्स, दिस विल हेल्प यू टू डिजाइन योर ओन करियर। वी आर जस्ट गोइंग टू हेल्प हैंड होल्ड यू। हम आपको, हर बच्चे में कुछ न कुछ यूनिकनेस है, हर बच्चे में कुछ न कुछ पैशन है, हर बच्चों कुछ न कुछ बन सकता है, सिर्फ उनको पता नहीं है कि क्या हो सकता है मेरे साथ। और फिर whatever falls on my lap, I'm going to do that. That's how the life works. फिर most of the students, ये 98% स्टूडेंट के साथ में वही होता है। आपके सामने है 70% ने रियलाइज किया मुझे सीरियसली मेरे करियर को डिजाइन करना है, मुझे हैंड होल्ड करो, मेरी ब्लूप्रिंट निकालो, मेरे करियर की, एजुकेशनल करियर की और प्रोफेशनल करियर की ब्लूप्रिंट निकाल के दो मुझे, ताकि मैं उस रास्ते पे आगे बढ़ूं। इफ आई एम कन्विंस्ड अबाउट इट, if I feel that this is matching with my passion, I'm ready to move on that direction. 17% says I know my direction but I need help to hand holding to reach the execution stage, and 9% says, sir, I know everything in this world, who are you? 4% says, sir, समझ में नहीं आ रहा है, कैसे क्या पूछ रहे हो आप? So ये अलग अलग तरीके हैं, बट आपने देखा, मैं आपको बता रहा हूं, मैक्सिमम स्टूडेंट्स, अभी आप 12th पास आउट होंगे, करेक्ट है? मैक्सिमम स्टूडेंट्स को एक्साइटमेंट है आज की तारीख में. We'll have to move forward quickly now. I'm going to explain you very quickly because the guest is joining in another 5 minutes. So I'm just trying to tell you, 12th पास आउट है, उनको एक्साइटमेंट क्या है? ये थियोरी के वाले लेक्चर्स पढ़ने के नहीं है एक्साइटमेंट. उनको एक्साइटमेंट है यार, नए लोग मिलेंगे, नए फ्रेंड्स मिलेंगे, नई जगह, नया लाइफ, नया सोशल के ऊपर एक्टिविटीज, नया एवरीथिंग इज गोइंग टू बी नया. वीकेंड्स आर गोइंग टू बी डिफरेंट. Our age, our energy, our resources, everything will be utilized in a different way. Our hormones are different at this age. Things are going to be different. We are entering into new things now. और उसमें अगर मुझे आप बताओ कि सर पूरा दिन बोरिंग लेक्चर के सामने थियरी वाले खड़े कर दो, सर कुछ समझ में आता नहीं है. ये बुकिश नॉलेज कुछ नहीं चाहिए मुझे. इंडस्ट्री के प्रोफेशनल्स बता दे भाई मुझे क्या आना, वो कैसे आगे बढ़े, वहां क्या ऐसा काम रहता है, वहां पे क्या मैं कर सकूंगा, मेरा जॉब रोल मेरे लिए ऐसा कौन सा हो सकता है कि जो सूटेबल मुझे भी है और उनको भी है, और हमारे से क्या एक्सपेक्ट कर रहे हैं स्किल सेट्स. अगर ये चीजें कोई बता दे तो मैं उस दिशा में भागना चाहूँ. तो ये मेरा दूसरा सवाल रहेगा सभी के लोगों के लिए. आपको लगता है कि पूरा का पूरा सिस्टम ऐसा होना चाहिए कि जो थियरी लेक्चर्स पहले सिखाए, मैं अपनी डिग्री ले लूं, बाद में मैं देखूंगा, किसी इंडस्ट्री में कोशिश करूंगा, समझ में आएगा तो मैं काम करूंगा, या पूरा का पूरा प्रैक्टिकल इंडस्ट्रियल नॉलेज ही होना चाहिए, या दोनों चाहिए? मेरे को एक नॉर्मल एकेडमिक डिग्री भी चाहिए और साथ में मुझे एम्प्लॉयबिलिटी स्किल्स भी बढ़ानी है विथ प्रैक्टिकल एस्पेक्ट्स फ्रॉम द इंडस्ट्री प्रोफेशनल्स. आपको क्या लग रहा है कि विच विल सूट यू द मोस्ट? आप बुकिश हो, आप प्रैक्टिकल हो, या आपको दोनों चाहिए? अब धीरे धीरे यू विल स्टार्ट रिकॉग्नाइजिंग योरसेल्फ. धीरे धीरे यू विल स्टार्ट नोइंग व्हाट यू नीड. धीरे धीरे आपके मन में समझ में आएगा कि अगर मैं अपनी करियर को सीरियसली देखना चाहता हूं तो मुझे व्हाट डू आई नीड इन माय अंडर ग्रेजुएट प्रोग्राम. इज गेटिंग डिग्री इनफ or getting an additional skill set to suit the industry expectation is a mandatory thing. This is what it is. Hundreds of students are there on the webinar. 66% of the students says, I need both. I need degree as well as practical employability skills which will attract me for the industry, which will prepare me for the industry requirements. I cannot just go with the theory. जो एग्जाम के पहले 7 दिन पहले मैंने एग्जाम में जाके मैंने I just vomited all the things and came back and forgot whatever I've written. We all know what we do. The education system has collapsed to a level that the Prime Minister had to announce the new education policy 2020 yesterday, wherein everything is changing, guys. Everything. If you read it, just type करो, आप भी एजुकेशन में इन्वॉल्व हो, आप इसी के थ्रू जा रहे हो. NEP एजुकेशन पॉलिसी 2020 लॉन्च हो चुका है और उसमें एक ही चीज सबसे बड़ी है, जिस बच्चे को प्रैक्टिकल ज्ञान नहीं है, इंडस्ट्री कनेक्शन नहीं है, एम्प्लॉयबिलिटी स्किल्स नहीं है, वो बच्चा कभी नहीं लाइफ में ऊपर आ सकता. जॉब्स मिलना बहुत मुश्किल होते जाएगा. ओनली डिग्रीज विल नॉट मैटर एनी मोर. यू मस्ट रीड व्हाट इज गोइंग टू कम इन योर करियर. अगले 5 साल, 7 साल में, 6 साल में आपको कोई ना कोई इंडस्ट्री से जुड़ना पड़ेगा. क्या आप एक इकोनॉमिक स्ट्राटा में, कौन से इकोनॉमिक स्ट्राटा में बैठना चाहते हो? सोसाइटी में बहुत सारे ऑप्शंस होते हैं. बॉटम है, मिडिल है, सीनियर है, टॉप है, बहुत सारे हैं. 12,000 रुपया पर मंथ का सैलरी भी है और 12 लाख रुपया पर मंथ का सैलरी भी है. स्टार्टर पैक बोल रहा हूं मैं, करेक्ट? आप कहाँ बैठना चाहते हो? कौन सी टाइप की इंडस्ट्री में जाना चाहते हो? कौन सी स्किल्स आप में डेवलप कर सकते हैं? ये हम मोक्ष में एक एक बच्चे का पर्सनल कुंडली निकालते हैं. आई होप you are able to now slowly understand that where we are getting into. This is the story of 98% of the students. Normal standard roadmap. सर मैं 12th कॉमर्स में हूँ, मेरा फ्रेंड सीए कर रहा है, मैं भी वही करूंगा, मेरे पापा सीए हैं, मैं भी वही करूंगा। सर मुझे लगता है मेरे पास और कोई ऑप्शन नहीं है, इसलिए मैं सीए करूंगा। मुझे नहीं पता मेरा अकाउंट्स कैसा है, बट मैं सीए की एंट्रेंस दूंगा। सर और हो ही क्या सकता है मेरे से? स्टैंडर्ड सोचते हैं लोग। यही है, चार्ट के ऊपर क्लिक कर लो, स्क्रीनशॉट निकाल लो, अपनी करियर बना लो, इसके ऊपर कुछ नहीं होगा। ये करियर से कुछ नहीं होने वाला। ठीक है, आपको बैलेंस 2% का करियर अगर देखना है तो मैं बताता हूं कैसे बन सकता है। इसी अगले 5 मिनट 10 मिनट में मैं बता देता हूं, एक आइडिया दे सकता हूं मैं, हाउ वी व्यू द एंटायर अपॉर्चुनिटी। क्या मैं यही करियर से यही बीसीए करूं या सीएस फाउंडेशन करूं, या बीकॉम करके मैं बैंक, इंश्योरेंस या एमबीए या एलएलबी? आपको खुद का पैशन पहले जानकारी लेनी पड़ेगी, उसके बाद में आगे का सोचना पड़ेगा। एक चीज ध्यान रखो, सीधा सीधा कोई भी रोड मैप लेने जाओगे तो 1 साल बाद समझ में आएगा कि आपने गलती कर दी। पहला चीज है, व्हाट वुड आई लव टू परस्यू। डोंट थिंक इसमें सैलरी कितनी मिलेगी, सर वो उसमें फ्यूचर अच्छा है ना, वो लाइन बढ़िया है ना, सर मेरे को लगता है कि सीए में पासिंग रेशियो अच्छा है तो मैं वो कर लूं ना। ये नहीं होता ऐसे। आप अभी पहला कदम डाल रहे हो अपनी करियर का, 12th के बाद में। एट दिस टाइम बेस्ट करियर ऑप्शंस अपने को सोचने हैं जो आपके लिए हो। इट्स अ हाईली पर्सनलाइज्ड डिसीजन। Employability skills will uplift you in the end. Rest of the people are going to look as dumb as they were because they did not take the right steps. जब आप अंडर ग्रेजुएट करते हो, जब आप 3 साल का बैचलर का प्रोग्राम करते हो, तब सिर्फ डिग्री लेने वाले भी मिलेंगे और साथ में एम्प्लॉयबिलिटी स्किल्स डेवलप करने वाले भी उसी 3 साल के अंदर मिलेंगे। तो क्या होता है, देयर इज अ ह्यूज शिफ्ट विच इज गोइंग टू हैपन इन योर लाइफ इफ यू गैदर दिस स्किल्स राइटली एट द राइट टाइम। your CV and other people's CV is going to look very different, and that's where your winning edge comes. If you want this lift in your career, if you want to understand how you can bring this in your life, it's not difficult. The only difference is you will have to think from the industry perspective. I hope you are able to understand that final role education का career में settle, respect लेना, society में पैसा कमाना वही होता है। तो क्यों ना हम पहले से हम वो लोगों को देखना चालू करें जो हमको पैसा देने वाले हैं, जो हमको रिस्पेक्ट एस्टेब्लिश करने वाले हैं, जो मुझे प्रोफेशनल बनाने वाले हैं, जिधर मैं काम करने वाला। चार मेजरली कॉमर्स, फाइनेंस, बिजनेस वालों के लिए मेजरली 4 टाइप के एम्प्लॉयर्स होते हैं: बैंक्स, कॉर्पोरेट्स, इंस्टीट्यूशंस और अकाउंटिंग। और एक एक एम्प्लॉयर्स में डिफरेंट डिफरेंट रोल, जॉब रोल्स होते हैं। ये मैंने जनरल यहाँ पे लिखा हुआ है। अब आपके फ्रेंड्स सर्कल में 10 लोग होंगे, कोई फाइनेंशियल एनालिस्ट के लिए सूटेबल होता है, कोई इक्विटी रिसर्च के लिए सूटेबल होगा, तो कोई इन्वेस्टमेंट बैंकिंग के एनालिस्ट। सिर्फ ऐसा नहीं होता कि सर इन्वेस्टमेंट बैंकिंग में तो 1 करोड़ का सैलरी है तो मैं यही करूंगा, नहीं होगा आपसे। आपको इवेल्युएट करना पड़ेगा अपने आप को, हम करके देंगे आपको इवेल्युएट। हम आपको सही रास्ते पे डालेंगे, आपका कौन सा जॉब रोल्स के ऊपर फिट है। उसी के लिए हमने आज किसी को बुलाया है। शी इज गोइंग टू टेल यू विच रोल शी इज इन एंड हाउ शी रीच्ड देयर। दैट विल गिव यू अ सॉलिड इंडस्ट्री पर्सपेक्टिव विद इन योर माइंड, दैट यस, अगर मुझे इंडस्ट्री के प्रोफेशनल आके मुझे एक्चुअल में समझाए कि ये एक एक रोल क्या है, तो धीरे धीरे मैं चूज करूंगा कि समझो मुझे इन्वेस्टर रिलेशंस में आगे बढ़ना है, ये वाला रोल चाहिए, जॉब रोल। तो इसके लिए मोक्ष बताएगा आपको ये सीखना पड़ेगा, ये एम्प्लॉयबिलिटी स्किल्स डेवलप करनी पड़ेगी। मोक्ष का ऑनलाइन कोचिंग सेंटर है पूरा, वो उसके अंदर आपको इस जॉब रोल के लिए प्रिपेयर करने के लिए। पर उसके पहले, बिफोर वी स्टार्ट प्रिपेयरिंग यू फॉर एनी जॉब रोल, रिमेंबर वन थिंग, you will have to understand what you are good at and what you actually want to become. So we spend a lot many hours with individual student कि आपका सुटेबिलिटी कौन से जॉब रोल के लिए है। आपका साइकोमेट्रिक टेस्ट होता है, उसके ऊपर बहुत सारे डिस्कशंस होते हैं। धीरे धीरे आपको एक एक इंडस्ट्री के, जो आज भी आएंगे वैसे एक एक इंडस्ट्री के प्रोफेशनल आके समझाएंगे। इसका पूरा 1 साल तक चलते रहता है। आप धीरे 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 समझोगे कि मेरा जॉब का पूरा स्फीयर क्या है, वो रोल्स क्या है, और मेरे में ऐसा कौन सा ट्रेट है कि जो उसके लिए सूटेबल हो। अगर आप ये सब न हो जानकारी लो तो आप इस स्टेज में बैठने वाले हो, आई डोंट नो व्हाट आई एम गुड एट, आई डोंट नो व्हाट आर द जॉब्स रोल्स अवेलेबल, सो व्हाट एम आई गोइंग टू डू। मैं शांति से बुक्स पढ़ूंगा, 7 दिन पहले पढ़ना चालू करूंगा, 8वें दिन एग्जाम देके वापस डिग्री लेके आई विल बी वेरी हैप्पी, और घर पे बैठूंगा या सस्ते में काम करूंगा जिंदगी भर। अगर आप पहले से अच्छा स्किल सेटअप करते हो, आपके लाइफ के बहुत साल बच जाते हैं। जो ग्रोथ के साल है वो अगर बचा लो तो आपका, ये जो होते हैं ना, कई लोग होते हैं जो आपने देखा होगा यंग होते हैं बट बहुत आगे चले गए, कई लोग होते हैं आगे गए बट उनको बहुत साल लग गए। यही फर्क है करियर प्लानिंग और ट्रैकिंग और एग्जीक्यूशन। अगर मैं आपको कोई ना कोई रोल में तो आप बैठने ही वाले हो, तो वो अगर आइडेंटिफाई करने में मदद करे मोक्ष, और आइडेंटिफाई करके आपके साथ में पूरे 3 साल का जो कोर्स है वो तीनों साल आपके साथ में रहे, न फिर न कोई सिर्फ आइडेंटिफाई करे। व्हेन वी आर गोइंग टू डू, वी आर गोइंग टू आइडेंटिफाई योर, डिस्कवर योर करियर, relate with it, take your consent that yes, I want this finally. After explaining all kind of job roles, then the next year we should start progressing in the intermediate and then the final one. So what are you going to become when this parallel education system, this is the concept of parallel education, one where you are getting the degree from, one where you are getting the employability skills from, ये दोनों मिलके फाइनली आपका जो सीवी तैयार होगा वो आपको भी सूटेबल होगा और इंडस्ट्री को भी अट्रैक्टिव होगा। अगर आप 12,000 रुपया कमाने वाले थे विदाउट एम्प्लॉयबिलिटी स्किल्स, तो विथ एम्प्लॉयबिलिटी स्किल्स आई कैन गारंटी यू योर स्टार्टिंग विल बी 30,000 एंड दिस इज द डिफरेंस। you will, here you will have to struggle to get a job, here you will have multiple options to get to work for because you have developed something। तो आप पूछोगे सर ऐसा क्या होता है, ऐसा क्या एक्स्ट्रा कर पाऊंगा, तो आप में बहुत सारे डिफरेंट स्किल्स को डेवलप करना पड़ता है। आपको एम्प्लॉयबिलिटी इस हिसाब से बनती है आप में कि भाई नाउ यू नो एग्जैक्टली व्हाट द इंडस्ट्री इज एक्सपेक्टिंग फ्रॉम यू। आपका बोलने का तरीका, आपका चलने का तरीका, आपका क्लोथिंग का तरीका, आपके करियर के बारे में सीरियसनेस, आपका करियर का पूरा जो पर्सपेक्टिव है कैसे आगे बढ़ेगा, एम्प्लॉयबिलिटी के उसी के हिसाब से स्किल बनाएंगे। आप में जो प्रोफेशनल अप्रोच आना चाहिए और जो भी करेंगे वो ग्लोबल बनेगा। आपके पास एक पाई है जिसमें जॉब्स की अवेलेबिलिटी इंडिया में इतना है, तो इसमें से खाने वाले बहुत लोग हैं, करेक्ट है। आपके पास अभी 2 ऑप्शन है गाइस, यू हैव 2 ऑप्शंस नाउ। एक, बड़ी पाई को ही बड़ी कर दो ताकि आपको अच्छा मिले, और दूसरा ऑप्शन है कि यार ये सबसे अलग भी हो जाए, तो ये है लोकल पाई। आपको हमको ग्लोबल बनाना पड़ेगा, तो जॉब का पर्सपेक्टिव बहुत बड़ा हो जाएगा। और दूसरा, you will have to be looking different. If you are looking same, everybody is going to be competing with you. If you are looking different, then naturally you are going to be, ये जैसे ब्लू कलर तुरंत दिख जाता है आपको, उसने ज्यादा लोग भी नहीं रहेंगे जिसने इतना सोचा, इतनी मेहनत की, इसने अंडर ग्रेजुएट लेवल पे खुद को डेवलप किया। ये चीजें सब लोग तो नहीं करेंगे, मैंने बताया आपको, ओनली 2% आर गोइंग टू डू इट। सो दिस इज वेयर यू कम इनटू द पिक्चर। आप एक नॉर्मल बीकॉम प्रोग्राम करने जाओगे, अगर एम्प्लॉयबिलिटी स्किल्स नहीं करना चाहोगे उसमें, तो डेफिनेटली उसमें आपको हेल्प नहीं होने वाली। यू आर गोइंग टू बी फार बिहाइंड जस्ट लाइक 98% ऑफ द पीपल। बट माय suggestion would be just add these employability skills. Now Mr. Chirag is going to showcase to you how you can add these employability skills, and also he is going to conduct a talk show with our today's guest. Mr. Chirag, are you there with us?
Yes, sir, very much there.
Please take over the screen from me.
Yeah. Sure, absolutely. Correct. So students, I welcome you on today's talk show. Today we have an esteemed panelist, Krupali ma'am, with us. I will quickly introduce her to all of you. Krupali ma'am, she is a chartered accountant and a CFA pass out. She comes with 5 years of experience in consultancy and industry. She has been part of major M&A and restructuring assignments. She's involved in public companies and brings rich knowledge in field of valuations. Her passion includes reading, painting, and teaching. So today we are going to understand a job role of how to become a valuation analyst. I welcome Kripali on the MOOC session on behalf of the students and academic team of MOOC. I welcome you on the today's panel.
Thank you so much, Chirag. Thank you.
All right. So, the way our conversation would span out is that initially I will be asking few questions on behalf of students, and then, students amongst their, listening to your conversation will come up with few questions. So I will pick up those questions and we'll be discussing that as well. I hope, you could give a great perspective of this career ahead. Great. So let's
Sure.
start. And, obvious. First question has to be about your background and qualification, in terms of your current
Right,
background and qualification. If you can, briefly let us know
right.
about that.
Yeah, sure. So talking about my qualification, I'm a chartered accountant. I've done my CFA also, so I'm a CFA pass out. I've also done my BCom, and presently I'm pursuing LLB. Talking about my background, I come from a very simple middle class family. I was a very good student, and that is how, I decided to take up a professional degree, and I did my CA post that, things moved on and the professional journey moved on from, I got a job at Godrej Industries in CFO's office. So that was a very good starter, and there on I moved to consultancy, wherein I have been in the valuations field for now more than 3.5 years now. So that is how my journey has been, and that is my brief background.
Kripali. Now, of course,
Yeah.
the next obvious question is, in terms of what is your career story, and why did you decide to pursue this career, and how did you get into this role of a valuation analyst?
Yeah, sure. So what happened, I'll just go step by step because that is how, my career also progressed. After my SSC, I chose commerce and specifically CA because it was one of the cheapest courses available, and also one with immense respect. And I'm really proud to say that CA is one of the most reputed degrees or professions even today. So that is how, I just naturally went with the flow, and chose CA. After, while doing CA, I realized that, I'm not really a tax person or an audit person, right? I didn't want to do accounts forever. I was good at it, but I didn't want to do it forever in my life. So that is how I zeroed down on finance. I was already into debt syndication during my articleship, and I really enjoyed finance. So that is how I decided to go for, finance, hardcore finance role. And then I was lucky enough to get into Godrej, wherein I was in the CFO's office in investment management and strategy role. But I realized there's a lot more learning on the consulting side, right? And that is when, I thought, let's move to consultancy. And even in consultancy, there are so many options, right? So, I was particularly very intrigued by how people valued businesses, people valued different instruments. How do you put a number to particular business, or how do you decide, this should be the discounting factor, etc. So that is how I zeroed down on valuation, and I've been in valuation ever since. I'm enjoying the journey, and it's really enriching being in valuation. So that is how I got into this role, and that is how I selected this career as what is suitable for me.
Right. So your discovery was more on the job. I understand. And I mean, you started with accounts,
Right.
like as Sir said, 98%, and then of course you discovered your passion toward finance. That is interesting.
Yeah,
Kripali,
so
we
it
have a
was like
message from.
step by step.
I'm sorry, Kripali. There's
Sorry.
a message from students that they are not able to see you. Can you just check your webcam settings? I mean, all right, thank you. That was a good perspective, So, students, as you can see, in the first two questions, one thing we've identified that, like everybody, she decided to consider account, but then her passion was about finance, and then, of course, she took the right decision, and now she's equally knowing best of the both world, accounts and finance. So that is interesting. Great. We'll be talking that more on that a little, after some time. All right. So what does a typical day look like for you in your current role? Like when you say a valuation analyst, so what do you
Right.
do? Is it like, a very heavy day? Do you work on weekends or do you work on targets? So what exactly does a valuation analyst do?
So, talking about a typical day, honestly, there's no typical day, but I'll just try to summarize what we broadly do. So, the activities that we broadly do. Uh, so, you begin your day with just checking the status on the multiple assignments you're working on, because it's a very rare scenario that you'll be working on only one assignment, right? So, there are multiple valuation assignments, different types of valuation assignments that are going on. So, you start your day by planning your day and getting a status update from your juniors. What is the status by them, whether they've completed the work given to them. You check on your clients whether they are providing the data that you would ask for, etc. So once that is done, what you would proceed to do, which will be your own job, or your own time of the day, is you'll spend almost half of your day on modeling. So either you are yourself creating a financial model, or you are reviewing somebody's model, or somebody else is reviewing your model. So a lot of time is spent on financial modeling and Excel, right? And apart from that, you will do a lot of research, because every business that you value will be unique, right? And it will be from different industry. Even within the industry there are different subsectors, so you really need to know the peers, you really need to know the industry. You need to interact a lot with the client, you'll interact a lot with the senior managers of top corporates to get sense of their business, because of course there's just so much that you can learn out of reading. So you definitely get in touch with the client, he explains to you how the business works, and a lot of insight on that part. So you're spending a lot of time on business insight, and so that is how your typical day would end. But apart from that, there will be times when you're working on very high pressure jobs like M&A, wherein all your assignments take a back seat, and you will be essentially required to work day and night on the M&A job, because no big corporate is going to wait for you to complete the valuation at your own leisure. So that is, you'll have to have the skin in the game, and you'll really need to be that dedicated to work day and night, and even on weekends. But that is what you do, and that is the actual fun part of being in valuation, when you do such high pressure engagements, or M&As, or corporate restructuring, valuation, etc. So that is how you'll spend more time on research. Sometimes you'll spend more time on the model. Sometimes you'll spend a lot of time on calls, talking to clients, understanding their business, explaining to them how you did valuation, explaining to them why a certain valuation is correct or not. So that is broadly how your day will look like, and how your role will be.
So what I can understand that, in this lockdown period, a lot of companies invested in the Reliance. So typically
Right,
there were valuation analysts in those companies like you
right,
who found
right.
the actual
Definitely,
value of investing in Reliance.
definitely.
Or,
Right,
we see a
definitely.
lot of companies getting acquired. So I understand. Yeah. So that's very interesting on the job, and of course deadline oriented role. Interesting. So of course my obvious next question is, what do you like about your job? In terms of analyst.
Right. So, I think the best part about my job is every project is unique. As I mentioned earlier, it is a very dynamic role, and there is no one size fits all solution, right? So you always have to be on your toes. You need to apply your mind every time you're talking to a client, you're trying to understand a business. Even if you are valuing an FMCG company, there are so many different types of companies in FMCG space also. So there's a lot of learning, and a lot of learning in the sense that not only do you value, you understand the company that you're valuing, you're also required to understand the peers in that space. You're also required to understand the entire industry, so to say. So it is, a very enriching job, and of course, you meet a lot of knowledgeable people. That opens up your mind, your work, the exposure that you get, the people you meet, all that just opens up your mind so much. It adds to your personality and to your own knowledge. So, that is the real fun part of my job. So dynamic and learning so much, always enriching. So that's what I like.
Yeah, so as you mentioned, dynamic, you're on toes, and of course, meeting interesting people, understanding new
Right.
businesses. So,
Right.
being a valuation analysis, that, an opportunity which you have, it's not monotonous. As you mentioned, you
Right.
didn't want to get into tax and tax is like very non-monotonous audit. Certain roles are like that, but in your case, yeah, you choose your passion. Interesting.
Right.
Now, if you may allow high points in your career so far and some key projects, if you can, share it with our students.
Yeah. So I think one of the high points of my career was to get into Godrej at the start of my career. So working in the CFO's office at, that being my first job was really a very high point. And even in the CFO's office, there was a time when the CFO applauded me in front of the entire finance team of Godrej for a divestment of more than 100 crores, which was single-handedly, completed by me. So that was one of the very high points in my career, and it was very overwhelming how everyone in the team was so supportive and celebrating my little work or my effort. So that was really very high point in my career. And some of the projects that I've worked upon, I think I can only speak about what is publicly available, so I'll just speak about some of the projects, big projects. One of the biggest projects I worked on was the merger of GSK Consumer with HUL. That was more than 2,500 crore deal. That was one of the biggest projects that I worked on. Another one was a very recent one, announced in April. The final valuation was announced in April for merger of Union Bank of India with Corporation Bank. So this was a part of the mega merger plan in the PSU banking space that was announced by the finance minister. So being a part of such a big project was really overwhelming. These are some of the key projects I would like to highlight.
Absolutely interesting. It's like years of efforts and maybe
Yes.
some months of efforts, and finally you see the day of the light. So I know kind of
Right.
satisfaction which as a team you guys achieved. That's good to know. Good to know.
Right.
All right. So now, while you see the good things, of course, there will be challenges, which you might have faced, in terms of some assumptions of the business, and of course. So, what kind of challenge did you face in terms of your career, and how did you overcome them?
So just trying to understand, is this the challenges that I faced in my career or while doing valuation? So is it from the job point of view or my career point of view?
Basically, it's your career trajectory, but also specific to certain skill set which you learned, maybe in your current role or previously.
So, some of the challenges that I faced, one of the biggest challenges that I faced at that point of time, like back then, was that, I did not have so many options. Like, I was not aware, rather, of so many options. So, back when I was, choosing CA, at that point of time, I was not sure what I wanted to do. Correct. And even after I chose CA, I was not sure what I wanted to do, if I wanted to do valuation, how do I do it, how do I get into the role, right? And what after valuation, would I want to just have a career in valuation or would I want to move out of valuation? So these were some of the thoughts that were very challenging. And the only way to overcome these milestones was to speak to people, reach out to people, read a lot, because and get the right kind of certification. So that is how we overcame, or rather I overcame the challenges that I faced, right?
Interesting to know that as well. So, as a valuation analyst, what is your outlook towards an industry, in terms of, not only like as you mentioned, these are very big companies, but I'm sure even in the startup arena, there's a lot of, valuation thing going on. So, how
Yeah,
do you
definitely.
perceive the industry, and how good it is to become a valuation analyst in a country like India? What do you see your
So
perspective?
Chirag, we see a lot of growth happening in valuation industry. Honestly, valuation is a very mature practice in Western countries. If you see, there are a lot of valuation, good valuation practices in the Western country, but in India, unfortunately, we are still evolving, right? But we see that there is a lot of requirement for valuation right now. This is such an opportune time to be in the valuation space, because you see India is coming in wherein there is mandatory valuation requirement for subsidiaries, derivative instruments, a lot of other requirements for valuation from India's point of view. Then there is a lot of M&A activity happening in India, a lot of FIIs investing in India, which again requires FEMA related valuation. right? And then you see a lot of movement happening in PEVC space and alternative investment funds and all, which are booming right now. So as per statutory requirements, even they need to value the startups that they invest in, and they need to sort of provide fair value of the investee company, that is the startups that they have invested in, to the investors. So we see a lot of requirements coming in in the valuation space. Apart from that, you will see that under Companies Act 2013, MCA has also rolled out registered valuers rules. So we see a lot of attention from government authorities also, which gives us more faith and more confidence that valuations is here to stay, and the government authorities are also taking it very seriously. So it is going to be a good space to be, for sure.
So happy to know that valuation analyst or field of valuation is kind of COVID proof also, and you've been able to manage the current scenario as well. So that is very interesting.
Yeah.
So students, those who are aspiring to be the next generation professional, being a valuation analyst can be one of the career opportunity which you guys can definitely look forward for. My next obvious question is, you've already mentioned about the certifications and designations which you have earned so far. So my, because we rarely have this combination where, somebody is also a CA and a CFA. So I'm sure you can throw a light on, in terms of what did you learn from CA and what did you learn from CFA, and what are those aspects, which you can say two good things about CA, two good things about CFA, and how are you utilizing them in your day-to-day work as a valuation analyst?
Right. So talking about CA, one thing that I definitely learned is, some bit of everything. So you will know accounting, you will know taxation, you'll know indirect taxation, you'll know audit, you'll know, anything that is there in finance field, right? You'll also know costing. So CA sort of prepares you for any field that you want to, plunge into. So that is, and second, that is one thing. Second thing that CA taught me was hard work. There's no escape to hard work. There's no shortcut to hard work. You really need to earn the degree of CA. There are no shortcuts for any certification or for anything that you want in life, right? So being able to put in that hard work is what we were forced to do when we were really doing CA. These are the two learnings that I carry from CA. Apart from that, talking about CFA really gave me that edge over others when you talk about valuations, at least, and a lot of other areas of finance, because it is a global curriculum, right? So you're globally recognized, your CFA is globally recognized. That is one thing that I carry from CFA. And second thing is a lot of learning, because if you look at the CFA curriculum, it is very interesting, because you will learn about the Western, you'll learn a lot about the Western markets, right? And our markets are still evolving. We hardly have so many derivative instruments, hedge funds. These are all still, in the nascent stage. They still need to boom a lot, and a lot needs to be done to, let them boom. Our debt markets are not really so mature, right? So we really need to learn a lot from the Western countries, and that is what CFA curricular prepares you for, right? So coming from India, at least that this is the future of Indian markets, right? Indian capital markets. So that gives you very good perspective and edge over others. So these are the two things that I carry from CA and CFA, right? And I definitely apply all of this in my current job. So talking about valuation, I really need to do modeling, which was a part of CFA curriculum again, and a lot of methodologies that were also part of CA and CFA. And there will be some portions of taxation, some portion of accounts. So a lot to learn. Anything that you study will not go waste, definitely. And I do apply that in my valuation field.
Interesting. So yeah, before you decide to value or buy a company, definitely scan the balance sheets. For their
Yeah,
the
exactly.
CA knowledge definitely helps you. Interesting.
Right.
Interesting to know that. Great. So of course, the next obvious question. I know it's very generic, but then how different is your learning in the classroom and what you learned at the job? What was that difference basically?
It is extremely different. I would say it is very different from what you learn. So theoretical knowledge that you get is just the tip of the iceberg, I would say. There's a lot to do, when you're on the job, correct? And that would be true for any career that you choose, not only valuation, I believe. But talking about valuation, you learn a lot of valuation methodologies, a lot of valuation related gyan that you will get in the classroom, which you can easily master. But when you actually sit to value a company, you'll know that there are so many data points that are available and there are so many data points that are not available to you. So you need to know which data points to pick, whether the data that you're looking at is correct or not, and you get that perspective only after spending so much time on the job. You will really have to get that experience. You gather that experience and sense that, okay, this is the data I have in front of me, but this really does not make sense. I cannot give a valuation based on this data. So that kind of perspective will come only on the job. And the second thing that you will learn when you are on the job is that there are a lot of things that the theory talks about, right? But then when you actually get on the job, there are a lot of missing points, like how do you get beta, how do you get equity risk premium, how do you do that? You can Google search, of course, but that is not the ideal way. What if somebody asks you what is the equity risk premium according to you? You should be able to value or calculate the ERP according to you. So finding out how the data works, how the inputs to your data or valuation exercise will come, that is also one of the key learnings from your job that you'll do, right? Everything cannot be taught in classroom. So that is how, these are two really different things when you do the job of valuation and when you learn valuation
Absolutely.
from the book.
Correct. So basically, as you mentioned, modeling involves a lot of assumptions, but are
Yes,
those correct and the bases are correct? That's the biggest challenge. So I
definitely.
completely
Right.
understand your perspective. All right. So what advice would you like to, give college students who are, listening to you today and are planning to become a valuation
Hmm.
analyst one day? What do you advise them this?
Yeah, so I think I have a couple of advice for the students, which would be a little generic, but starting with, one thing is you should reach out. I feel we as people, at least Indians, are very shy to reach out to people, especially we are so shy we don't even reach out to our seniors, to our teachers, or to our mentors. But please do reach out. These are the people who really want to help you. There are good people around you who really want to help you, want to advise you. Everyone loves to advise. So reach out to people. Be active on professional platforms like LinkedIn. Okay, you really need to show that you're in the game, right? You really need to be active on social media, and by social media I mean professional platforms only, not talking about Facebook or something. So definitely be very active on LinkedIn, etc. And a third thing is reading. Reading is a must. I think we don't emphasize enough on reading, but reading is a very essential habit that we need to inculcate in the students and in ourselves also. So I read a very good quote somewhere that a man who does not read does not have any advantage over a man who cannot read. So it is up to you to decide where you want to be. You really need to get that edge over others if you can read, right? And lastly, have faith in the Almighty. You never know what can be a blessing in disguise. There could be a job that you didn't get. There could be an exam that you didn't pass. A friend who did not help you, but you helped him. So all these things will disappoint you, will sort of depress you. But have faith. The dots will eventually join. So that is the general advice I have for the students. And talking about valuation, it's not really difficult to learn about valuation. You just need to have the logic clear and read. You have a lot of resources available online, a lot of YouTube videos on DCF valuation and different approaches, market based valuation. So there are a lot of resources available around us. There are different courses on Coursera, edX. So you can really enroll yourself for those courses and get that certification on your resume, probably to show that you have interest in valuation and you've done something in the field of your own. You've actually read about the valuation methods. You've actually got that theoretical knowledge, because nobody wants to employ you and teach you what is valuation, right? At least you should know what is valuation. You should know what are the different approaches, what are the different types of valuation, what are different methods of valuation, and how do you do it. If you have that you know background or basic sense of valuation field, then there would be some interest from the employers as well. So talking about valuation, that would be my advice, that really use the resources around you very wisely and to the fullest. And good luck.
Great piece of advice is, first was definitely network, hard work, have
Definitely,
faith.
definitely.
You need to always be, doing some kind of upskilling, which definitely helps. So these are great points, students. So now I open the platform for any questions which you guys have, students or parents. Any questions you guys have, quickly, do ask, and I'll be happy to answer. Krupali ma'am, on your behalf. Quickly, we have another 5 to 10 minutes. She has a very busy schedule. All right, so first question which I have got is regarding the math. How important is math? If we were like, do I need to like math if I have to consider financial modeling? How is it? That's the question.
So
How important is
talking
math
about
for
maths,
valuation analysis? Yeah.
I would say maths is in general a very essential skill, life skill, right? So I would really encourage you to have that interest in maths. But talking about valuation, yes, you definitely need to like maths. At least you shouldn't be averse of numbers. You may not be in complete love with numbers, right? But at least you should not be averse. You should be mentally prepared to look at numbers day in and day night, right? So day and night you will be working on numbers. Essentially, you will be giving the final valuation number or the valuation range to your clients. So numbers really need to make sense to you, right? They need to talk to you, and you need to make sense out of the numbers that are given to you. So you may not love maths, but you will have to know maths, or you'll at least have to know numbers, so to say. You have to live with them if you want to get into valuation.
Interesting. The second question is, is regarding entrepreneurship. So if I do, decide to consider a career of valuation analyst, can I work on my own, or I have to definitely pick up a job?
No. So there are. I will answer it in two ways. One thing is, I'm assuming you want to start your own valuation practice, which is also possible. I know a couple of people who have started their valuation practice, but honestly, that comes with the learning. So you'll definitely have to have that kind of experience. You need to have that name in the industry, because valuation is such a niche field that everyone in the industry knows everyone. Okay, so there's just Big Four, Big Ten, and then there is Aranka or DNP, etc. So there are just very few players in this valuation industry. If you want to make a name for yourself, you need to be in the game for considerable time, and then maybe if you start your own practice, that is when people will come to you. Big corporates will come to you because they know that the valuation done by Mr. X or Mr. Y is really of quality. So you'll have to get that perspective, or you'll have to establish that name in the valuation industry to start your own career. If you're talking about having completely different business that you want after selecting valuation as your career, that is also an option. That is always an open option, right? So
Yeah,
that is
interesting.
what it is.
Yeah, perfect. Then there's a question from Priyanka. She says, should I choose a plain BCom or BCom plus computer? I mean, Priyanka, that's an academic degree. But I think, what do you say? How much is academic degree important, and how much is the parallel CA, CFA charters important?
Honestly, you will have. I personally, would advise you to take up something beyond BCom, because I have done BCom, right? And you can easily pick up at least one degree along with BCom. That will up your game in the market, right? Because there are so many people doing BCom, you definitely need to have something additional for your resume to stand out, for someone to vouch for you, right? So I would really suggest that, depending on your interest, maybe you can take up one more degree, but post your own analysis and your own uh, your own decision making you can do on what you want to pick up along with BCom. But I wouldn't suggest that you stick to only BCom. That is really manageable with something else.
Interesting. Of course, Sambhav says, what are the best career options if he likes mathematics? I mean, valuation is one. In terms of accounts, what else can he do if he loves maths? I mean, in field of finance and accounts, basically. If
If
he
you love
likes
maths, I would really suggest
maths,
that you
exactly.
take up. Okay, so if you love maths, which is the case with me also, I would suggest don't stick to something like accounts or tax. It is always better to go for hardcore finance, and there are a lot of options in finance. It is not just valuation, right? You can go with valuation, you can go with financial due diligence. There is commercial due diligence, there is investment banking. There are a lot of fields, M&A taxation, right? So M&A taxation is a little different from taxation in the sense that you actually advise corporates on how the restructuring or the merger should be done in order to save taxes, right? So that is how it works. So that is not typical valuation. So typical taxation. So that is how I would, suggest you to look for something in hardcore finance rather than going for accounting or going for taxation or audit, something like that.
All right, interesting. So, you mentioned M&A a lot of times. So, what exactly does M&A mean? Because a lot of students are little new because they're just in grade 12.
Okay.
So, what
Okay.
exactly does M&A mean actually? Yeah. So,
Yeah, I'm really sorry. I did not realize. It's my fault. I should have said mergers and acquisitions.
all right.
So
So it's
what we call
basically
mergers and
yeah.
acquisitions is M&A in short.
All right. M&A, what exactly do you do as a valuation analyst? Uh, if you can briefly let me know exactly. I mean, between two companies, what is the role of a valuation analyst? When an M&A is happening actually.
So I'll just talk about listed entities because those are the most coveted M&As in the market. So what happens is when two companies want to merge or one company wants to acquire the other company, there is some consideration that needs to be exchanged. Correct? Now, if both the companies are listed, I'm taking the scenario that both the companies are listed, right? So now if there is a company A and company B, you put a value of 100 to company A and value of say 200 to company B, then the exchange ratio would be somewhere in the range of 1.1 is to 2, right? So you need to be sure that the value of company B is really 200 and the value of company A is really 100, because this will be scrutinized by SEBI and shareholders, and there are a lot of public shareholders. You cannot wrong the public shareholders, right? So it may be a case that real value of company B is actually not 200, it is 180, but you are giving 200. In that case, company A shareholders are going to get lesser number of shares of company B, right? So you are actually, by giving a wrong valuation to one company or by giving more valuation to one company, you're doing wrong to the, minority shareholders or the public shareholders who put faith in your valuation. When you say 200, okay, you mean 200, right? It has to be 200. 100%, because if the minority shareholders can prove that it is higher or lower than it, then it is questionable. Why did you give a particular value? Was it for your own benefit? Did you benefit personally out of it? Was there any other conflict of interest, etc.? So a lot of scrutiny goes into the valuation that you do, especially when M&A is involved, right?
Okay,
I'm
so
not sure if
uh,
it was very
yeah,
complicated,
it is
but
making sense. So what one thing I've realized, so as a valuation analyst, logic is important, math skills are important. I need to be responsible. I mean, I cannot,
yeah, definitely,
make random assumptions. So that's again a
definitely.
very important perspective you've been. Thank you very much, Krupali. It was, very interesting and good to have you on the MOOCs platform and so many students interacting and understanding your perspective. And on behalf of students of MOOCs and academic team, I would like to, again, thank you and definitely look forward if there are any further sessions, if you can, take out your time from your busy schedule and be part of these
Definitely.
guest sessions. Thank you very much, and I hope you also enjoyed the same.
Thank you. Thank you. Good luck, guys. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. And students, quickly, I will now quickly give you a important perspective on the IFAF program in the next 10 minutes. We will quickly discuss about the IFAF and the journey ahead. All right. So, sir has given you a perspective. We today spoke to one of the job role. To understand something, as Krupali ma'am mentioned, just like a lot of people, she also decided, okay, let's do CA, and then she discovered her entire passion. Similarly, I would want to tell you what IFAB does is that every day, every time, we introduce people with different job roles so that you get a complete exposure to the entire market, and then you can make your career planning. Okay, So it is a proper career planning program. Idea of IFAF program is to give you a complete idea how to choose a career. So first year of BCom, you will understand all the different job roles. You will speak to the industry professional. You will match your liking. Second year, you will decide on an elective program, create foundation, learn employability skills, and in the third year, be a global professionals and be ahead of 98% of students. So that is the complete perspective of this program. Our idea is that we will ensure as an IFAF student, you first understand what is financial market, corporate finance, risk management, financial engineering, international accounting, understand them, and then pick up your field of work. Okay, this is exactly what will be done in a focused manner. All of you have the handout section where you can download the brochure, where you'll be able to understand how in year one you will be taught world of business, decision making, innovation in finance, communication skills, industry interaction, psychometric test will be conducted, so that you will decide, okay, maybe after understanding all the 20, 30, 40 options, I think I should become a valuation analyst. Okay, if I want to become a valuation analyst, I need to choose corporate finance. I choose corporate finance, I will learn IFRS, that is International Financial Reporting Standards. I will learn business communication skills. I will learn digital media skills. As ma'am said, you should have a great networking and a media profile. You will learn employability skills. And then in the third year, you will crack your CFA exam. In the IFAF program, we compulsorily offer you a virtual internship and an industry project in the third year. So that when you are graduating, ओके पैरेलली डेफिनेटली आप अपना बीकॉम सिलेक्ट कर सकते हो, बीबीए सिलेक्ट कर सकते हो, बीसीए सिलेक्ट करते हो, नो प्रॉब्लम, यू कैन चूज विच एवर एकेडमिक डिग्री यू वांट, but by doing IFAF parallelly, you are becoming the person who wants to succeed in his career. This will definitely change your perspective, change your life. How? Let us understand the math. We are all commerce students. Somebody does a plain BCom, this is the annual salary. BCom plus knowledge of tally, this is your annual salary. MBA, this is what you earn. If you do a local professional degree, this is your start annual salary. However, if you do along with this a CFA, FRM, or an ACC, any of these, you are more employable. And that is exactly what the IFAF program will do. It will help you discover what's your career. Okay, please understand, ये जो टाइम था वो चला गया. टिपिकल आम जिंदगी क्या होती है, 12th कॉमर्स, बीकॉम, एमबीए, फाइनेंस. थिंग्स हैव चेंज्ड थैंक्स टू कोरोना. Thanks to corona, things have changed. I will show you an example. This is a Forbes article. Forbes is an international journal. What does Forbes say? Forbes says, after COVID, we are not sure what is the value of an MBA. Can you see this? So this is what we are trying to tell you. World is changing thanks to COVID. You need to also change. Stop doing the traditional way. The second is ICOM, but parallelly learn a lot of charters. Okay, who is this? CNBC, the biggest business news channel globally available. What is CNBC saying? CNBC is saying a very important thing. तो आप सब लोगों को समझना है that the future of work will not be about degrees. It will be about skill sets, and these are the skill sets which each one of you need to prepare. At Mosh IFAF program, this is exactly what we will do. We will let you know what all job roles are available, what are your likings, and exactly train you on your aspire, explore, execute, and achieve. Most importantly, we will make you industry ready. As you know, our prime minister says, it is not just about seeking jobs. It is being self-reliant, atmanirbhar. You need to become entrepreneurs so that you can offer jobs. You can work with these global companies. So this is something which all of us needs to aspire and plan things out. I'm inviting all of you who are just passing 12th and going to start your BCom, BBI, BFM. Our batches for the IFAF are starting from 15th of August. So, feel free to join and discover your career just different than what, 98% of your friends are going to consider. All right. Now, those who want to know further, want a personal counseling with their parents, with their friends, they can actually visit any of the MOOC center across India, or in the current pandemic scenario, we have a lot of online counseling slots available. Monday to Saturday, morning to evening, there are lots of slots available of 45 minutes. So book your slot, call up us this number, and we will have a detailed discussion about your career. Career planning is very, very important. Every money you spend now is going to be very crucial for your future career. All right, because pandemic has changed a lot of things. Pandemic has changed a lot of things, so it is very important, guys, for you to understand things. All right, so I'll be happy if you guys can give a feedback. Did you like this online counseling? What is your feedback, and how can we further help you in your building up your career? All right, this is something which is very important for us to understand, so that accordingly we can help you plan your career ahead. All right, so quickly, if you can let us know how was your experience spending time on a Saturday evening, where ideally you would have opened Netflix, Amazon, and you spend time discussing your career. So I hope you guys definitely enjoyed it. Thank you very much for participating in poll. I'm happy that 54% of you felt very helpful. It definitely changed my perspective. 31% said it was helpful not only to me, I will inform my friends also. And of course, 19% say it was satisfactory, but we want more details. So you ask your counselors to call me so that I can explain my parents also and then take a decision, because career planning is very important. So no problem. Thank you very much. I really appreciate all of you to be part of this session, and I wish you all the very best for your careers. Moksh and the entire team is always there to help you. Pick up your call, reach out to the counselors, and let's plan your career. Thank you very much. I will end this session now. Thank you.